It is April 1861. The U.S. Army has 1,080 commissioned officers. Each has sworn an oath to bear true allegiance to the United States of America and observe and obey the orders of the President of the United States. But as the wave of secession engulfs the southern states, 286 resigned or were dismissed to enter Confederate service in 1861, elevating loyalty to their home state above their sworn duty to the nation. 184 of these officers were West Point graduates. Confederate President Jefferson Davis, himself a West Point graduate and a veteran of the Mexican-American War, prized these recruits above all others. They were given positions of authority in the new Confederate Army. Of those Southern officers who remained loyal to the Union, none received more national adulation than Major Robert Anderson. He was a native of Kentucky whose family had used enslaved labor. Anderson was selected to command Fort Sumter in the hope that placing a Southerner in charge of the federal garrison in Charleston Harbor would ease tensions. But tensions escalated as Southern states began seizing federal properties. When Anderson refused the Confederate demand for possession of Fort Sumter, the fort was subjected to an artillery barrage in what would be the opening military engagement of the Civil War. After 34 hours of bombardment, Anderson surrendered the fort, and he and his men were allowed to leave Charleston. They sailed to New York with the battered American flag that had flown over Fort Sumter waving from their ship's mast. By the time Anderson arrived in New York, he had become a national hero, and the Fort Sumter flag had become a potent symbol of American patriotism. Anderson was regaled at ceremonies in New York and later across cities in the North. 4 years and 1 day after Anderson surrendered Fort Sumter to the Confederates, he returned to Charleston to raise the old battered flag above the fort once more in a joyous celebration of the Union victory. The hot war was over, but old hatreds remained. Lincoln would be shot later that evening.